Okay, the most powerful pixel on Earth. So this is, of course, a bold statement, but it's also really what sets this apart. So this is what I'm going to do here today. I'm going to take you through all of the things behind this statement that actually make it hold true. And one other thing to note here, this pixel is purpose-built for Shopify brands that are doing at least $10K a month or more in overall store revenue. So if that isn't you right now, I don't want to waste any more of your time. But if it is you, keep watching because I'm about to explain how all of this works in great detail. So first of all, the problems that we're solving. So data, ROI, and time. So first of all, broken attribution. So ever since the iOS 14 updates, which many of you have experienced if you have a Shopify brand and you run a Shopify store, the tracking attribution has been severely broken. And what's going on is you're not able to know with certainty which ads actually led to purchases. So in order to scale, it just becomes super important to know that. So we're actually going to fix attribution here for you today. The next thing we're going to go ahead and solve is missed revenue and ROI goals. So the reason this is happening is definitely coming from the broken attribution, but basically, as a Shopify brand, there's really no real way to see or visualize whether or not you're on track for the month. So, and with that, there's no way to contextualize all of your ad data in relation to an actual performance goal. So we will show you how to do that here today to really help actually meet those revenue and ROI goals each month. And then the other thing that we're going to help with is all of the wasted ad spend. And what's going on there is just waiting multiple days to turn off an underperforming campaign, or when you're scaling a campaign that's actually declining, both of those things are contributing to just be a huge waste in your ad spend. And it just drastically hurts your overall ROAS and scale potential, on a daily basis. And another thing that Shopify brands have really communicated to us is that, it's just taking hours and hours each week to analyze, all of the campaigns, all of the different ads and trends, and all the different ad dashboards and ad platforms to really determine the best next steps to do across multiple channels. So we're going to provide a solution for that as well. So those are the 4 things that we're going to go ahead and solve with this software approach. And so it's really going to be one pixel to basically do it all. It's going to be able to save you 75%. You'll be able to save 75% of your time, spending on manual analysis. We should really cut back there. We're going to be able to save 30% or more on wasted ad spend, and as well as scale an additional 15 to 20% on monthly ad revenue. So these are, the things that it should be able to provide. And then the software is called Adeya. So this is what we're going to take you through today. It's called Adeya, and I'm going to jump into all of the things that really make it different. So the most powerful pixel on Earth. So what Adeya is going to do is it's going to track, learn, analyze, predict, and actually prescribe what's next. So Adeya is actually the only pixel available on the market today that tracks, learns, analyzes, predicts, and prescribes. And in a moment here, I'm going to jump into the actual app and show you each of these things and how we do it. So let's get into it. So how does tracking work? So I'm going to start with tracking. That was the first of those 5 things. And before we dive into the actual app and all of the screens in there, let's just talk about what's going on with the state of tracking in the industry today. So if we think about here, we have Facebook post iOS versus our Adeya hyper accurate, tracking pixel. So ever since the iOS 14 updates, Facebook can really only track the clicks. So when someone actually clicks on your ad, it can't track all the way through to purchase. So it's not getting all of the interaction that's happening on your site. So all the add to carts, all the purchasing, all the page views, all of that other interaction that's going to take place. Facebook can no longer track or capture any of that. So what's happening is, it sees the clicks from the ads and it sees some of your purchases, but all of those interactions in the middle, it's missing, and that's leading to these, kind of gaps in the data over here. So then when you go into the ads manager, you're actually getting just that modeled data. Facebook is essentially, guessing which ads are doing best and just providing some modeling there. But in reality, that's it's missing a lot of the data, so the attribution, it's not fully tracked. It's broken. So when you compare all of this to for example, installing the Adeya pixel, which is going to accurately track every event, you're actually getting that complete picture and all of that visibility there, and so you can make much better decisions. So I'm going to jump into it and show you an exact example of that here. So let's go in, and this is the quantum feed, and it's a peek behind the scenes at every event that's coming in from this Adeya pixel. So we have over here the event, what happened. We have the ad it came from and the actual order information. So it's pulling in all of this information, it's getting every single event, and all of this is going to be coming into Adeya, and it's going to be able to inform much greater decision making. So now let's jump into the next screen. This is the Quantum Ads Manager, and this is what you'll see after you have installed our pixel and all of your data has loaded in. So all of this data here, everything here that you see is hyper accurate. We've tracked every single event and interaction someone has had with your brand all the way through to purchase. We've created this ads manager to provide you with an easy way to view all of your campaign data, and we can actually track everything from all the different ad platforms, as well as email, or if you're doing any text or SMS marketing as well. So I'm gonna just go into some examples here. So let's just go ahead and click on this campaign. This is a retargeting campaign, and you can see in this blue revenue column here, we have tracked 7 orders or purchases originating from this campaign. It's done about $12.70 in overall revenue, and giving it a return on ad spend, or ROAS, of 4.58. So now let's look at that exact same campaign. This is in the Facebook Ads Manager, same campaign. So Facebook is reporting 5 purchases. It missed quite a bit of the revenue. It's $4.77 in revenue here, and giving it a 1.7 ROAS. So, if you only had this data to go off of, you were, everything about this is kind of telling you, probably turn it off. It's a pretty big difference in the accuracy in the reporting, but if you were only looking at this, you'd probably say, hey, 1.7, that's not good, I'm just going to turn it off. But in reality, that was something that you probably should have scaled. So let's just look at another one here. This is just another example, and this is happening across all these campaigns, everything that you're running, but let's just go ahead and jump into this one. So this one's reported 4 purchases, $4.70 in overall revenue, 3.25 ROAS. Now we look at that same one in the Ads Manager, and it's 2 purchases, only $135 in overall revenue, and giving an under 1 ROAS. So that's a pretty big, super big difference once again, and it's just way, way off. So that's those 2 examples are really illustrating the massive data issue going on right now with Facebook, and this is happening across every campaign. So without accurate tracking, you're constantly just turning off campaigns that are actually performing well, and this is making it impossible to scale. And on the flip side, there's a lot of things in here that you should have scaled, but there's also over-reporting going on. So sometimes, in the Ads Manager, you're looking at things and it says it's doing well, but the reality is it actually led to no purchases. So then you're scaling those, and it's just way off, and it's basically creating a ton of wasted ad spend. So it just becomes extremely important to have that accurate data, so that you can make the best decisions when it comes to all of your ad spend. And with the Adeya Pixel, this is not an iOS store app, so we're not really bound by any of those situations that Facebook's bound with where it can no longer track, we can actually track straight through every single interaction all the way to purchase. So that is how we are doing it there. And then a couple other things to note here that we've built into this feature. We have this easy kind of quick sort menu up here. So like, for example, if you just wanted to see like which campaigns out of every campaign that you're running had like the highest ROAS for today, or like over a different time frame, you could select that here and click refresh. It would reorder everything. You can also, go over any of these options here and just kind of, you can always have this kind of quick short views to like quickly find things in here and have the entire manager kind of rearrange. We have also above and below your goal, lowest and highest. So this is something, I'll go over the goal functionality in a minute. But this is a super useful feature. And then in addition to, just how the regular ads manager works, you can also drill down into like the ad set level or the campaign level and see all of that data here. So if you wanted to optimize based on, actual data that, for images or the actual elements of the ad, you could do that as well. So it works the same way in that regard. And then, and that's how we're doing all of the tracking. So I will move on to the next bit here. So it can do all of these things. And we're also going to tell you about how another super important thing that Adeya is going to do every single day is actually feed all of this data back to Facebook to actually improve the way it optimizes. So what it will do is it'll actually help fill in all of those gaps and allow the Facebook AI and the Facebook Pixel to optimize, providing you with much better tracking. So, that's what Adeya is doing. It's, once you have it installed, it's going to be, capturing every single interaction. And then it's actually going to send all of that interaction back to Facebook, filling in all of these missing gaps. So it'll look more like this. And it'll help really like feed that AI to help, optimize your Facebook pixel. This is going to help greatly improve targeting capabilities and, getting all of that actual, the actual purchaser data, who are the best customers, really every like interaction it can actually gain back. So that's going to really help improve your targeting. So that is, that's everything on how we actually do the targeting here. So I'm going to jump into the rest of it. And, we're actually going to take it many steps further. So the next thing we're going to look at is how this pixel actually learns. So that's tracking, and that's where we're actually going to leave everyone else behind. Most other, tracking softwares or anything else out there on the market that says they do tracking, they're probably not doing it as comprehensively as we're doing it with that entire ads manager build out and all of that, and the sending the data back to Facebook. But even if they are, this is where we're really going to start to leave all of them behind, because what we're going to do now is actually get more data from you and learn what you actually want to achieve throughout your month. So let's jump into this next part. This is the Adeya Goal Studio, and it's how our pixel can learn what you actually want to achieve in any given month. And what's going to happen is Adeya will predict your ideal revenue range each month as well. So what you'll do is you'll set these goals over here. So in this example, the goal being set is $200K a month as the monthly revenue goal. You can set cost per purchase goals over here. MER, which is media efficiency ratio. It's more of a brand level metric, which I'll get into later on in this presentation. And then average order value, you can set that too. So once you set all of these goals, you'll be able to see, the machine will spit out your average daily ad spend that will be needed to achieve that goal, the ROAS that will be needed, and your total ad spend for the month, so that you can have, you can just know all of those things here. And then this predictions part in the middle, what's going on here is that we're actually going to be able to provide you with a revenue range, so kind of like a guide as to what to put here. And the way that works is our system's actually going to, when you connect, everything with Adeya, it's actually going to use machine learning algorithms to analyze the history and momentum of your account, including seasonality. And that's going to help determine your ideal revenue range. So it just gives you, a good place to start that should be realistic. And, so up here on the high end, this is like, maybe be a little bit more aggressive. This is much more safe. This is straight down the middle. So it's up to you what you ultimately select. It also gives you this information here. So, if you were to go right down the middle, it's 15% higher than last month. And we have your past, as long as you've been running ads, we're able to see all of that historical data. So it knows that it's 87% higher than last year. So that's all just available to you here. So this is where, we're really going to take all of the information from you so that you're starting each month with an exact roadmap of where you want to go by the end of the month. And this is where all of that starts. So the next thing that we're going to do here is we're going to analyze all of that ad data coming in through the tracking pixel hyper accurately. We're also going to give it context as to what you would like to achieve, in the month. So now that we have all of that data from you on what you're looking to do, we can actually contextualize that for you and provide much more value there in showing you something that's actually personalized to you. So let's jump into that. So this is Goal Tracker, and it monitors and visualizes all of your key metrics throughout the month and predicts what your performance will be at the end of the month in relation to your goal. So you'll see that here, and this green line here is your target revenue, so that was the goal that you set. And you can just visually, kind of tell from, glancing at this that you actually are on track, or even a little bit above. So that's what that says here. You're actually above your goal pace. And then ad spend is a bit behind your goal. So if you go to this one, you can visually see right here, we have your target ad spend down here, your actual spend month to date, which is a little bit low, and it's kind of letting you know that, you can up it a little bit based on the predictions, like you would only end up here and you have a little bit more to go. So, just quickly, it's like easily to tell that from looking at this. ROAS is on track, so you can kind of tell by seeing this here. Everything's green, it looks good to go. It's actually slightly above, and then average order value is above your goal. Cost per purchase is slightly higher than your goal. So all of these things are in here. Just now that it's contextualized to you, you can actually get some relevant information as to what you're actually trying to do in any given month. So that's where this screen comes in handy. Just being able to actually see all of these things. It makes it so that if you're trying to achieve a performance goal, it's really going to require you the ability to make these adjustments throughout the month. So we can look at that here on this screen. But with Goal Tracker, you really gain just much more visibility into which adjustments to take. And always stay on track throughout the month. So you can see making all of these like little micro adjustments over here on the right just allows you to actually achieve the goal. Whereas, if you just have absolutely no visibility, a lot of time might go by, you might leave some things on and just let it run for like a week or so. And then all of a sudden you realize it's doing bad. So then you might cut everything off or minimize spend. Then you try to recover, it just leads to, kind of a big distance there when you think about like your desired outcome, your desired goal, and missing those, you're typically going to be missing a lot of your ROI and revenue targets. But just being able to have that visibility, it makes it so much easier to see like which metrics to pay attention to. You can make those micro adjustments throughout the month and actually stay on pace and on track. So that's why we created a Goal Tracker. And the next thing we're going to do is jump into how this pixel actually takes it another step further and predicts what's next. So what we're doing is we're using predictive analytics. It's actually an entire field of analytics, heavily used in industries like the financial industry, the weather industry, and what we're doing with Adeya is applying all of that to ads. So let's jump into it. This is Predictive ROAS, and it's where we predict the next 7 days for every campaign, and we provide you with recommended actions to improve performance and achieve your ROAS goals every day. So this is a totally unique new data set that you gain access to with Adeya this whole next 7 days. So this side is going to be last 7 days, and this is basically just the last 7 days of your ad data displayed over here. This is kind of just literally right here is kind of what you're used to seeing, in the ads manager. It gives you, your ROAS, the campaign name. This is a little visualization of the momentum over the last 7 days of any given campaign. And then this is what's new with Adeya, is this whole predictive performance section. Then it's giving you the next 7 days of predictive performance. So what you're able to do is actually optimize in advance here. So my best way to explain this is to just kind of give a short example. So let's just say for this campaign right here, let's say you only looked at this in the ads manager. So you took a look at it in the ads manager, you saw that was 2.7 for ROAS, and you were like, all right, that's okay. I guess I'll leave it on for the next few days. It's not terrible. But what we see is that's actually, it's actually trending down. The machine sees that it actually has a 78% chance of decreasing over the next 7 days. So what's going on here is, you might look at it and you might look at the past 7-day ROAS and just leave something on, but what will actually occur is that the very next day it'll drop to 2x ROAS and then 1x and then under 1, and so you just begin to lose money. So optimizing things based off of past data is actually not ideal. It's hard to really get the right timing. So what we want to do is help increase your, the timing of when you optimize things, and to really help you to maximize that ROI. So with this, you would just go in and decrease. This is predicted to decrease these two over the next 7 days. So you would just want to go ahead and toggle those off now. Keep that pretty decent ROAS over here. And then the opposite is true of these. So this one's actually doing quite well. So you would actually leave this, instead of just leaving it on. And if you check this in the ads manager, you'd say oh, that's doing good, I'm just going to leave it be. But really what you should do is take full advantage of that and just scale it right now. It has a 70% chance of increasing. So if you were to scale it now, it would, that would be the best thing to do to really maximize on that campaign. So, all of this here, this is really just to give you, that much more insight. Just having the ability to optimize in advance has been a huge, huge game changer for all of our Shopify brands using Adeya. And it's really the only prediction engine available on the market to provide this level of insight into the next 7 days, combined with the precise personalization and contextualization, against your actual performance goals each month. So, and then I have a couple more things here, so let me just jump into it. So, so this just visualizes, when is the ideal time to scale up a campaign. So this is a visual that really just, gets it across. What we're trying to help you do is, instead of guessing on these two timings, we want you to nail it every time. So that's what we're going to do with this feature. And one other thing to point out here before I jump to the next section, we also have this, kind of easy feature down here where you can quickly just, you can, if you just wanted to jump in here and see which ones should I scale up right now, you can sort them here. So which ones should I toggle off or optimize down here. We're monitoring, that's typically means that you just launched these campaigns, so we actually don't have enough data. The prediction engine doesn't have enough data yet to really give you that prediction, so it's just going to say we're monitoring. It's not going to spit out an action just yet, but that's where all of that will be, and we have that quick sort feature down here to just save you time. So that is predictive ROAS. So let's continue on here to the next section. So all right, so far we've covered how we're going to track, learn, and get data from you on what you actually want to achieve, how we're analyzing everything and personalizing it to your actual performance goals. But we're really going to use the highest form of analytics here. It's called prescriptive analytics, and it's going to provide you with actual next steps, next actions. So with prescriptive analytics, what we're trying to do is actually engineer a specific outcome. Since we have that goal data and we know where you're actually trying to go, we will basically combine all of that to provide you with exact next steps. So let's jump into that section. So this is the Instant Insights feature of Adeya, and a good way to think about this feature is kind of like your AI account analyst or AI consultant. So what you'll do is you'll just jump in here, and it's going to give you all of this information on just the overall status of your account, what our AI system will do is it will thoroughly analyze your account every night, and it will deliver actionable insights for you every morning, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so you really don't miss anything. So in this tab, it's going to give you everything in a really easy format. It's actually like in plain English, just like an actual, a consultant might email you. If you ask someone to like take a look at your ads manager, hey, can you just look at my ad data? You'd actually just get regular emails just telling you the status or like state of what's going on. So in this tab, you'll actually receive pressing performance trends, like the most pressing trends that you should address. Your goal status, so how you're doing with ROAS and revenue in relation to the goal that you set. It will also give you spin velocity recommendations, so whether you should increase or decrease, and campaign action items to do. So in this first one, this is just what's trending. So over the last 7 days, ROAS was below your goal by 14%, mostly because cost per purchase was too high. So it's just summarizing everything for you and telling you like this is the reason why that happened. This is current pace, so this is your goal, in relation to your goal, like whether or not you're on pace. So the good news is you're still on track for the month, given this example. Revenue and ROAS both look good. Continue to optimize any underperforming campaigns and scale winning campaigns. Launch new campaigns to keep ad spend up, which, you can remember in that goal tracker screen, one of the things to watch out for is just your ad spend, make sure to keep it up. So that's just kind of summarizing that here. And if this were to actually not be on track, so if you were off your pace, what you would see in this section is just recommendations on, the most important thing that you should do to like get back on track. It would like tell you what to do next there. And then we also provide you with these action items too. So currently there are 3 campaigns qualified to scale up. And if you clicked this, it would go ahead and take you right to those campaigns. So you can just go ahead and scale them up. And then 6 campaigns that are recommended to optimize or toggle off. And then that's it for now. We'll continue monitoring the other 13 for you. So that is Instant Insights. And it's really just meant to save you a ton of time in allowing you to be able to start your day every day with like just exactly what you need to be working on, what you should do to best optimize your entire account against a goal. And this is an automated process. It can just save you hours and hours of manual analysis. You no longer have to go through all those different screens or try to make separate spreadsheets to figure out what's going on. This is basically just doing it all for you, and it's allowing you to start your day with crystal clarity on the next steps that you need to take to stay on track with your performance goals and provide you with the confidence to quickly address anything pressing and move on to other priorities in your day. So that is Instant Insights, and we actually have one more thing to dive into on this presentation today. So we've gone over, how this is the most powerful pixel out there for Shopify brands, how we do the tracking, how we learn, how we analyze, how we predict and prescribe for you. But of course, there is always one more thing. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump into this last feature here, where we will look at overall efficiency to really inform larger and bigger decision making. So more of like an overall, kind of North Star metric. And so we're going to circle back to that MER that I briefly mentioned earlier on. But so this is called MER, or efficiency ratio, and it's basically taking all of your media spend, so across multiple platforms, if you're doing Facebook, Instagram, Google Ads, TikTok, email marketing, it's all your marketing efforts, regardless of the platform. It's taking in all of that, all of those purchases and all of that ad spend, and then dividing it by your overall store revenue. So this is just to kind of help you see the overall profitability of your the ROI on your entire brand. Like, is the brand profitable right now? Like, what is that exactly? It's just meant to allow you to actually see your ROI. And what the reason for this is that, a lot of the Shopify brands that we've worked with over the years have kind of communicated to us that it's just super messy and hard to kind of figure out your actual, ROI for the whole brand. So this is a dashboard that can just quickly give you those views. And we have multiple things going on here. So first of all, this is like a menu, so you can see these things over the last 7 days, 30 days, month to date, quarter to date, year to date. What we can also do is we have this drop down here, so you can see revenue versus spend, for all of those time periods. You can also see after returns, so some brands that do pretty high volume, they have a substantial amount of returns. So just figuring out what's your overall ROI like after returns. And then we also have that whole prediction engine built into this feature. So you can see this forecast here. So over the next 7 days, you can see like an overall ROI forecast based on all the efforts and everything that you're doing. We also have that feature built into the 30-day, so you can have that next 30-day outlook here. And then just going through these, you can see, it's always kind of nice to see like what's going on in terms of like revenue and ad spend. You can also just kind of take a look at things here. So let's say, if you see these spikes here, maybe that was like an email campaign that performed really well, or something like that, and because ad spend wasn't spiked. So it's just, it's a way to see all of those things, and it can be pretty useful in terms of, quarterly planning, monthly planning, seeing that year over year, what was the trend for the entire year. You can see all of that here. So. And you can also set goals for this. So if you want to try and improve it a little bit, we have the ability for you to set an MER goal in that goal setting section. So you can work toward improving it, by doing all of these micro adjustments throughout the month. So that's MER, and it's about just making it easier to make those bigger decisions. Like should we be ramping up inventory? Cutting back? Should we be upping the overall, could we up the overall ad budget? Are we doing well? Should we start to, really try to scale? Should we be pulling back? Should we be, hiring someone? All of those kind of bigger brand level decisions are, it can be helpful to have just a little bit more confidence in making those by just having this easy visibility here. And it's always answered just, quickly, saving you time. Just in one click, you can just quickly, see it here. So that is efficiency ratio, and this is just kind of a recap of everything that we covered today, how we do the tracking, learning, analyzing, predicting, and prescribing, as well as helping out with that long-term brand level decision making with the efficiency ratio functionality, and then this is just giving you a quick rundown. This is everything that we can track. So we can track all the different ad platforms, if you're doing any like email marketing and using like Klaviyo, for example, or if you're using like an SMS platform to do any SMS marketing, we can basically capture and accurately track every single interaction coming from all of those and feed it all into Adeya, so you have all of that accurate data to help you make the best decisions throughout the month. And with Adeya, we actually provide one-on-one personalized ROI performance consulting. So this is another thing that makes us super unique in the space, where most software companies, basically just try to avoid support. We actually do the opposite. We really encourage daily and weekly customer interaction, and we strive to help Shopify brands achieve their revenue goals each month. So we have a couple different ways that can happen. So you have the option to receive on-demand next steps, where you can just text us, or you can use the live chat feature on our site to get one-on-one help if you need it. So if you have a team and you want them to kind of like manage your account for you, we can also do like a Slack integration where you can have that dedicated Slack channel with us in your team. So anytime you have questions on anything, or if you're wondering what to do to improve a certain metric or something like that, and you just want some ideas, you can reach out to us there. We also provide ROI performance consulting, where you can join our weekly Zoom hours, or you can schedule a call where we'll help you one-on-one, and just you can also just send us a Loom. So Loom is a video screen recording integration that we also have, where let's just say that you would like to have us take a look at all of your screens like within Adeya, and if you need help with something, you can just record it, send it to us. We can give you a much more in-depth analysis if you need it. Another thing to point out is we provide remote desktop capabilities. So let's say you're just getting started and you need help setting something up or connecting one of your accounts, and you're just not that tech savvy. We can simply do it for you and go in via remote desktop and just get these things set up quickly. And we can certainly do that, if needed. So those are really all the ways that, we support all of our clients, and we really just want you to be able to always ask us anything and provide that actual performance consulting on demand. So this is a quick recap of everything that you get with Adeya, and it's everything that you get when going with this pixel. It really is one pixel that does it all. You'll recognize here a lot of the things that I went over on this side. Everything that we kind of just ran through. One thing that I didn't get a chance to cover was trend catcher, but that's another awesome feature that helps you just quickly visualize trends, and it can save you money. We also have daily velocity, which is like a daily view, for keeping on track with your goals, just breaking everything out like day by day so that, you don't have to always look at the monthly view. There's like a daily view too. And we also have Answer Cloud. So that is, with Adeya, you get access to Answer Cloud. It's like our smart content hub, which really has like hundreds of Shopify specific step-by-step educational guides available to you, in that part of the platform. And we go over top campaign structures, scaling techniques, cost optimizations. There really is just hundreds of guides in there, really covering it all. And it's all, Shopify specific. So kind of like instead of endlessly searching YouTube, trying to figure out, is this something I should be doing? We actually have it all easily broken out into, easy guides that you can follow, all specifically geared toward, Shopify brands. And we also cover multiple platforms in there. So like Facebook, Instagram, Google, TikTok, Shopify, all of those are covered. And further down on the list, we also have our included ROI performance consulting, with the one-on-one. We can do quantitative analysis, Slack team integration, and then white glove onboarding, which I'll jump into in just a moment. So yep, it really is one pixel to do it all. You should be able to save 75% of, spend 75% less time dealing with manual analysis. All the brands that we have using this have reported, being able to save like 30% on their ad spend every month just by, reducing that waste. And then being able to scale 15 to 20% more just, with having all of that accurate data to optimize off of. Another great thing that we are offering is it's actually 100% risk-free to try Adeya. So this is the best guarantee in the market. You essentially have an entire quarter to use all of our unique features that I've covered here today. And if for any reason you're not 100% happy, you can just let us know and receive your entire investment back. And the reason for this is we really only want happy customers. That's it. We also want people to see the huge impact of the value that we provide, and really see having Adeya as like an integral part of their tech stack, for the year and beyond. Adeya was really designed to help you achieve your revenue goals, of course, month over month, but also like year over year as well. So for us, it's more about creating that, that more lasting relationship and be able to see the larger picture together. So it is 100% risk-free. And, so who this is for. So if this is you, schedule a demo. So who this is for, so it's for anyone that has a Shopify store. You really need to be doing at least 10K per month or more in overall store revenue. It's really important for the AI and the way Adeya is built that, you kind of need to be at that level of revenue or higher. We can go much, much higher, but we really, we can't go lower than that. So also, you run paid ads on any of these platforms. It really is an analytics tool to use toward these platforms. So you need to be wanting to run ads on those platforms, and then you have you really want a software solution, so you want a software solution to provide you with 100% accurate ad tracking. You want to be able to feed all of that information back to Facebook and, feed that AI to target the right customers. And you want to, you want help hitting those revenue and ROI goals each month. You want to be able to visualize all of that and be able to make those micro adjustments and track throughout the month, and then be able to save 30% on wasted ad spend. So if that's you, definitely schedule a demo by clicking the button below, and we would love to really walk you through all of this one-on-one on the demo. Thank you so much for spending the time here today to go over all of these incredible features that we have for you, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you guys on the demo.